Welcome to Justice For, a true crime podcast hosted by two besties from Colorado, focused on bringing justice to victims by telling their stories. New episodes release every Tuesday on all major podcast platforms and YouTube. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube so you'll never miss an episode.
Trigger warning, this is a true crime podcast that does contain adult language, adult themes, and some content may be disturbing for some viewers. So please watch and listen with discretion.
I know we have all heard the stories of women going to the hospital with back pain, and when they get there, they find out they are in labor. Next thing you know, they're leaving the hospital with a baby they didn't plan on. We always ask, how did she not know? How did anyone just not know that someone is pregnant? Let me tell you some quick stats and let you think on it. Studies suggest that about 1 in 475 pregnancies go unnoticed until about 20 weeks. About 1 in 2,500 pregnancies go unnoticed until delivery. That's about 3 times more common than the chance of having triplets, which is about 1 in 10,000 pregnancies. Welcome back to Justice For. We're your hosts. I'm Jackie.
I'm Sam. Isn't that crazy?
That
Isn't
really
a crazy
is.
Stat?
That's the chance of having triplets is 1 in 10,000.
Yeah. You're more likely to not know you're pregnant, like full term, than it is to have fucking triplets.
There's a girl I went to high school with who a few years ago, she popped up in a Facebook post and was like, hey guys, meet my baby that I didn't know I was pregnant with. And then a week later, she did this whole post showing all these pictures for the last 9 months and how she looked the exact same, never changed, nothing.
That's terrifying to me.
Terrifying. She said she felt fine, all of that.
Gosh, that's terrifying.
It's horrifying.
Anyway, if you haven't guessed it, today we are talking about Alexee Trevizo. That name should sound familiar to you since we talked about her on our last WTF episode, which was, a while ago.
End of August?
I think so.
So a couple months ago.
Yeah, but it was literally the last WTF we had, so it probably rings a bell in your noggin. A lot of you asked for a full-length episode on it, though, so here we are. Let's get into it, y'all.
Ask and you shall receive.
Mm-hmm. Our story takes place in Artesia, New Mexico, which has a population of, it's pinpointed, 12,875 people as of the 2020 census. So it's probably a little bit more now. Who knows?
Oh yeah, everybody did it that year because we were all at home with nothing else to do.
Pretty much, yeah.
It's like, oh, I'll fill this out this year. Why not?
I think, weren't they getting people in trouble for not filling it out?
Yeah, you're supposed to because it helps, your schools get funding and, your city and all of that. And, there's actual reasons for it. It's a good thing.
I did it. I didn't have a reason
not to.
We
were all bored.
Yeah. Anyway, Artesia is in Eddy County, and it's actually considered one of the best places to live in New Mexico. It is known for their oil and gas industry, but also agriculture and dairy farms. The city is one of the few residential training sites of the federal law enforcement training centers, mostly for the United States Border Patrol, BIA police, and the U.S. Air Marshals. The Artesia Restaurant and Hotel was one location in the film The Man Who Fell to Earth, starring David Bowie, R.I.P. It is also the birthplace of a few notable people, including Landry Jones, who was the Oklahoma Sooners quarterback, and then he went on to be the Steelers' backup quarterback for 5 years, but now he plays for the XFL. That's why I wanted you to read this part.
Of course, when I asked you to do an overview of a city, you find a Steelers fact. Every time.
This is only the third time.
Oh, minimum.
It's the third.
You mentioned the Steelers in the second episode we did.
You're welcome. Anyway, it is also home to Edgar Mitchell, who was an astronaut who walked on the moon during the Apollo 14 mission, which is pretty cool.
That's super cool.
As well as Terry Lee Williams, who was the first African American to serve on the Utah State Senate. I could not find actual crime rates specifically for Artesia, but New Mexico has the nation's highest overall violent crime rate, about 20 points higher than the second ranked Alaska, and the nation's third highest property crime rate behind Washington and Colorado.
I always forget that Alaska has a really high crime rate, but
They
it's because
do.
there's such a little population. That's why. Because
Yeah.
there's less people to.
But they're also like ginormous with no one there.
Well, there's like one town where everyone lives in the same building, so I'm pretty sure that's half of their count.
Probably.
I I now know so much about New Mexico.
Specifically
Yeah,
Artesia, right?
specifically Artesia. I
I
never knew that much about New Mexico ever.
Yeah.
Y'all are
Yeah.
welcome.
Anyway, so on January 26th of 2023, 19-year-old Alexee Trevizo went to cheer practice and to a cheer team workout. That evening, while on the phone with her boyfriend Devin Fierro, she was complaining about her hips hurting really bad, as well as her back. Devin wasn't overly concerned because Alexee went to the chiropractor often, specifically for back and hip pain. She decided she was just going to go try to get some sleep and see if that would help at all. But the pain only got worse. So Alexee woke her mom, Rosa, up, and it didn't take long for her to decide it was time to go to the hospital. This wasn't Alexee's like normal type of hip pain, so it's time. Rosa took Alexee to the emergency room at Artesia General Hospital, and according to the nursing staff, it is standard procedure to administer a pregnancy test when a woman comes in with severe lower back pain. Other tests were ordered as well, including a CT and an MRI. Alexee told the nurses that she was having regular periods. In fact, she was actually like currently on her period, but also she didn't have sex. She was a virgin.
Remember that.
So, while they were waiting on the results, the nurses decided to administer morphine and other meds to help Alexee for pain.
The initial urine pregnancy test came back positive, but it took closer to 45 minutes for the blood work to come back, which gave nurses a better idea of how pregnant Alexee could be and if it could potentially be a tubal pregnancy or a miscarriage because of the amount of pain that she was in. And she did come into the hospital wearing like a hoodie and sweatpants, and it was like a bigger oversized hoodie. So when Alexee and Rosa were informed of Alexee's pregnancy, she denied it and claimed she was a virgin. Not long after that, Alexee was seen running to the bathroom, and as she ran down the hall, she was holding her butt and her crotch.
Sorry.
Rosa went to check on Alexee within a minute of her being in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And about 9 minutes later, around 1:49 a.m. on the 27th now, Rosa was back at that bathroom door checking on Alexee. And then she returned back to the hospital room. During this time, nurses at the nearby nurse station could hear the towel dispenser going off repeatedly. And from 1:53 to 1:56 a.m., nurses were at the door of the bathroom asking Alexee if she was okay, if she needed anything.
So within like 5 minutes.
Yeah, they were there pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like, and because they'd heard all that stuff.
Yeah.
And they noticed that she'd been in there for a while. And they were trying to see if she needed help, and they kept telling her she needed to open the door and come out so they could make sure that she was okay. And then finally a nurse told Alexee if she didn't open the door, they were coming in. And when the nurse returned a minute or two later with the key, Alexee immediately opened the door and walked out of the bathroom, leaving a trail of bloody footprints all the way back to her room. So
Can you imagine that really quick though? She's just like, hi, and then just
like you just imagine, like in my head, it's opening the door and then like the waddle with like this the squeaking, like the splooshing steps all the way back, like a cartoon. That's just like just like awkward like waddle away while everyone's like,
but just like
the
imagine
fuck just
the
happened?
nurses seeing this blood and just like, huh?
Yeah. So the bathroom had blood all over the floor, and it was like smeared, like it had been cleaned up in like the spreading circle motions, and there was like some on the wall as well. It was just covered in blood. They checked the toilet and it was clean and empty. The trash can had nothing on top of the trash that they could see. So they called housekeeping and went straight to Alexee's room to make sure that she was okay. They thought she could have harmed herself or had a miscarriage or tried to induce one, or she had an ectopic pregnancy. There were so many options. And at first, Alexee was pretty resistant to being checked out, but eventually let them do it.
Mm-hmm.
At 2:08, the house cleaner starts cleaning the bathroom, and she began cleaning up all of the blood. And after almost 20 minutes, she finished cleaning up all the blood and went to lift the trash can to take the trash out.
So that was also within like 10 minutes of Alexee leaving the bathroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll find out
Mm-hmm.
why. And that's when she noticed the trash can is feeling heavy, which is odd because when she began cleaning the blood, the trash can had a brand new trash can liner in it, and there was like barely anything in there.
Mm-hmm. Just like a couple paper towels.
Yeah, like some paper towels that had blood on them.
Mm-hmm.
And she looked through the trash can, and underneath the trash can liner, there was something wrapped in a plastic bag. And hospitals tend to keep extra trash bags underneath the one that's clean in there, just so it's a lot easier to go through and switch them out and take out the trash.
I feel like most places do that.
Yeah, I did it
It's
in
just
restaurants.
easier. Yeah.
And I also want to note that it wasn't like a short pail,
Mm-hmm.
it was one of the taller ones in the hospital bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
And so when she got to underneath the plastic bags, there was something wrapped in a plastic bag. And so, but it wasn't what she was seeing, was more plastic bags. And she looked closer at it, and it appeared to be a baby wrapped in a plastic bag. So she called the nurses over to make sure she was really seeing this. And there was a charge nurse on duty that night. And a charge nurse basically oversees everything on the floor. If anything goes wrong, they're there, they're taking care of it. And everything goes to them, questions and stuff. And the charge nurse on shift was HT. And he immediately took the trash can and its contents into trauma room 2 and opened up the bag. And that's when they discovered what appeared to be a full-term baby boy who was very cold, blue, and not breathing. Other contents in the trash can were a tampon and bloody paper towels and other bags from the trash can. Dr. Heather Vasquez was the ER doctor that evening, and she pronounced the baby dead at 2:28 a.m.
Really quick, I feel like I remember in the WTF, what was it, the nurse that said how he was wrapped in the bag?
Yeah, and I think that I
You
actually have a
guys
clip
remember
of,
that.
I think I actually have a clip in here of him talking about that.
Rap.
I don't know if it is in this next clip I'm going to play you, or
But
if
it's
it's
in
in one
here.
later on, but I do have it in here. But I do want to play you a clip from HT, the charge nurse, talking about him, what I just described to you guys.
The next thing, Lori comes and goes, HT, oh my God, you better come to the bathroom. I go in the bathroom and she goes, something's in the trash can. I'm like, I looked in there, there's a clean liner. I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, pick it up. I picked it, I could feel the weight. I knew then we had a serious problem. I just grabbed the trash can and went right across the hall into trauma 2. The liner was pulled out, but there was another trash bag in there in the bottom, but it was all it was rolled up. So I had to tear it apart. And then, of course, I saw the baby in there. So I pulled the baby out, got him on the bed, checked for signs of life. There was absolutely no life whatsoever. I immediately came out of there after I did that, went into the room where she was performing the vaginal exam, and I immediately told her, you have to come out now. And she came out, and we went into trauma 2, and she reassessed the baby. At that time, between me and Chris and her, we determined, there was no reason for us to begin any life saving. The baby was completely gone.
What did the bag look like?
The bag was the original trash bag that was in there. It had trash in it. When I pulled it out, it was spun, where it was tight, and then it was folded underneath the baby in there. So it was like a little capsule the baby was in. So when I had to tear that bag open to see the baby in the bottom.
So that wasn't there.
Yeah, I know I had that clip somewhere
Yeah.
in there with how
Yeah.
they described the bag, because that was like a holy shit moment between the two of us when it was described that way. It was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
I think what gets me personally about this clip is that, like, you just think about it and she just had, it's like no regard.
So many steps to cover it up.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible. Like, and thankfully that housekeeper was like, something's wrong with this trash can,
Thank God.
right?
But
Horrible.
I feel like HT just, like, when he's talking and he just, like, keeps putting his hands down like that, he just, like, defeated.
Yeah, and I have a lot more clips of him.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking for him.
That's why I never joined the medical field, because I
Yeah.
couldn't handle that shit.
No.
So, anyway, police were called immediately. Thank God. Dr. Vasquez and HT went to talk to Alexee and her mom about what was found in the bathroom and what the hell is going on. There is actually body cam footage of this. So we're actually going to play it for you really quick. Basically, you just have to listen to this and see it to believe this shit. Because damn.
Yeah.
So, here you go.
I'm sorry, there's we discovered a dead baby in the bathroom.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. It came out of me and I didn't know what to do.
Lexi, I told you about this.
But it
I just asked you, baby, to tell me the truth.
it was not crying or nothing.
What did you do to it? Okay, stop right here. Stop. Number one priority, guys. Number one priority is she just had a baby. I don't know if she's delivered the placenta. She's bleeding significantly.
Yeah.
I've spoken to the obstetrician at Loveless. They want her up there as soon as possible.
Okay.
I obviously need your permission to transfer her for medical. She's
19.
Oh, you're right.
But she is a student too.
She's still 19
you're
years
right.
old.
You're right. She needs to. I'm sorry, I forgot she's 19.
What came out of me?
But you need to make sure that you're safe. I need to send you to Loveless to labor and delivery. Will you please agree to that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. I'm gonna work on that. I'm sorry about this, but in terms of delivering a baby and it looked like you tried to hide it, we do have to have the police involved.
And nothing was crying. It came out with nothing.
I know. But the baby's gonna have to be taken for autopsy and there'll be an investigator.
I'm the charge nurse here. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Like, how big is the baby?
It's full term.
What? 9 months? Nothing was crying.
Lexi, have you watched the news of the girls that what they do to their babies and what they go to jail?
Nothing was crying.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and break this down for you guys.
Rage with us.
Pretty much rage away. And yes, you heard her correctly. She said, it just came out of me. Nothing was breathing. Nothing. Nothing was breathing. Not him. Not it. Nothing. Bitch.
Yeah, just nothing. I mean, like, I refer to babies and children as it all the time. It is acceptable. She uses it one time. Everything
I
else
think
is
she used
nothing.
it twice. It wasn't crying. But
it wasn't crying.
Nothing was crying.
It just came out. But then it was nothing was crying. Nothing. Like, what?
She's referring to her baby as nothing.
Nothing. I have to apologize for calling babies its and children because that's a term of endearment for me. But
Just call it dude.
Right? It would have been acceptable.
Just call it dude. Dude is exclusive to everyone.
It really is.
Anyway, so the one thing I do want to point out though is she fessed up real fucking fast.
She really did. Really quick.
Real fucking
The
fast.
panic on her face.
Her mom's just like, what? And she was like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're a child still, clearly. Anyway, also, what about Rosa saying, I just asked you about this? Like,
Yeah, mom is super sus in this.
yeah. And then being like, we've talked about this. What about the girls on the news?
Like, why is this your first reaction? And why have you been talking about girls with babies on the news? Like, did you know about this? Have you been, like, trying to, like, scare tactic her with, like, do you see what happened to that girl who killed her baby and now she's in jail? Did you see what happening? Like,
Yeah.
was this a scare tactic?
Why have you talked about this? I've never had this conversation with my mother before.
Yeah, never.
Ever.
Ever.
Also, what did you do to it? And the doctor being like, no.
Yeah, listen, the doctors and the nurses and the police are very much like, will tell Rosa to back the fuck off.
Yeah.
And it's kind of great.
I love it. And also her asking, like, how big the baby was. and like then she was just like shocked when the doctor said it was for a full term. She's
Shocked.
9 months.
I'm gonna need an Oscar for that.
Right?
We're gonna need an Oscar
Yeah.
for that.
Like specifically because she fucking looked 9 months pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Rosa.
Did we forget to mention?
We did, apparently. We forgot to mention that Alexee and Rosa
Well,
were trying to say she wasn't pregnant.
that they didn't know anything.
They had no
when
idea.
This is what Alexee looked like in her cheerleading uniforms. We're gonna pop a little picture
Look
up
at
here
this
for you
shit.
guys. For
There's
those of you who guys aren't
fucking
watching,
There's no fucking way. There's no fucking
there's
way.
no way in these pictures that nobody knew.
It's very obvious. Like there's no fucking way. Anyway, but a little bit of insight is given when Rosa is told she needs to consent to her transfer, which okay. I think you guys probably heard in there that they needed to transfer her because they actually have a labor center there, and the general hospital didn't have that.
Yeah, and they need because of how much she was bleeding, and they didn't know where the placenta was.
Absolutely. Like, they wouldn't know. She wouldn't fucking do anything.
Yeah.
So obviously she needed to be medvac to a larger hospital to get the care she actually needed, and she just like she kept looking at her mom like
she can't make a decision.
She can't.
No, and it's.
I don't know. My favorite part though was like she's still a student though.
Like that has any that part it seems to be a very controlling relationship.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. But I wonder, since she is 19 and still in high school, was she held back? Was she born late? Like she had to have been held back, I feel.
Like either held back or her mom like started her a year later for kindergarten because she just didn't want her to leave home. Like that's the one of those moms.
It's definitely like a really weird controlling vibe from Rosa. And
how Alexee's reacting. And you'll get that more.
Yeah. So even the hospital staff said that they were actually very uncomfortable being in the room with both of them. So we're actually going to play you a couple of the clips from the interview with the hospital staff. So you are hopefully going to get a feel of the vibe from that night as well. So
yeah, we're going to start with the ultrasound tech interview.
Okay.
Real quick, it's just a little clip.
So I didn't want to have a conversation with her after I was given this information, but she was talking to me and while I'm trying to get things set up, and she says, I don't know what's going on. She said, I didn't know I was pregnant. I'm a cheerleader. I started gaining a lot of weight. My clothes were tight. I was taking birth control pills. So she said, this didn't make any sense to me. Just, I don't know what to tell you. And I did my scan, and then I left.
That was the ultrasound tech, and she really did not want to talk to Alexee, but Alexee wanted to talk, and she said that it was more like a very, like, panicky, like, fast, like, rush talking, like she was nervous. So next up, there is a female nurse who started caring for Alexee after she came out of the bathroom. She was not a part of the stuff before the bathroom, just after she came out. And so she was in there a lot after she was told while waiting on the transfer.
Yep.
And Alexee was talking to her as well.
I can't wait to talk about this birth control part though.
That is so
coming up.
A little bit of that.
Up.
So what we just heard a little bit of birth control. Now we're going to hear more about it from the other nurse.
Yeah.
She essentially was scared. She was worried that she was going to get in trouble. She did have the back and forth with her mother that was just about like, they had said, the mom was upset because she had had sex and hadn't told her. So they were going back and forth on that, and then she was just denying it, which was a little wasn't really deniable at that point in time.
Right.
So the patient was denying having sex at this point to her mom.
Yeah, she was trying to state that she was still a virgin.
After she came in from the bathroom and all the blood and all that. Okay.
So did the pelvic, and then I think shortly after that the mom was in the waiting room after that. And then she was just worried. She was asking me like what was going to happen. I told her obviously I did not know.
Is this when you found out she was worried about getting in trouble? Did she tell you anything like?
She didn't say anything about what had happened. She was just essentially worried that she was just going to get in trouble.
So That's what I mean. Were those the questions she was asking?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so.
What's gonna happen to me? Like that kind of thing.
Did she ever ask about the baby?
No.
Not once.
And so her focus was her getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And anything other than that she talked to you about?
She did at one point in time when the ultrasound tech was in the room with her ask if there was anything. She pretty much said, would there be any like bad outcomes if she had stopped taking one medication and stopped taking another? And I said, well, what medications are you talking about? And she said, well, what would happen if I stopped taking birth control and started taking weight loss medications? And I was like, I don't know.
It's an odd question.
I thought so.
And was the argument between her and her mom pretty heated?
I would say heated. It was awkward.
Awkward?
Yeah. Like they were going back and forth and her mom was definitely angry.
And patient is 19.
Mm-hmm.
Your mom is quite a bit older.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
And they never once asked about the baby? During the entire time you had contact with her, once she left the bathroom? Even after they found out that the baby was found and all that, they never asked anything about the baby?
Mm-hmm. I did go, now that I think about it, I did go check on the mom just to give her an update. And I think she asked about the situation, like asked what was going on. But I told her I couldn't tell her anything. So I just went to go tell her that like she's being transferred to Roswell.
Right.
And give her an update on her daughter essentially. And that she asked about like what was going on with all of that. She said, like, what happened to the bathroom? What happened to the bathroom? I said, I can't tell you.
Right. But nothing specific saying,
right. Nothing.
What about the baby?
Correct.
Yeah. So we can't even like refer to it as a baby, the situation, or the bathroom.
She don't give a fuck about that baby, dude.
They don't. And
like I know I say fuck them kids a lot, but they straight up fuck them kids. Bro.
Yeah. And what about we're gonna birth control into weight loss pills?
Oh my gosh, I know. Also, like, if she was actually, I said this before, but I wasn't recording, but if she was actually taking birth control pills during this entire pregnancy, this baby would not be healthy or full term. Guaranteed.
Yeah, and the weight loss pills either, even if she's taking those, like, in the beginning, I mean, that's one thing, she probably could take weight loss pills the whole time, but...
I don't know, man.
So, the last nurse interviews that we're going to play for you is that charge nurse, HT. And he has quite a few more clips, but what he has to say is really, yeah, like, I feel so bad for him.
And he was worried about the mother, the dynamics between the mother and the daughter, because the daughter was completely denying she was pregnant, and the mother was relatively upset about that she was pregnant.
Okay.
So
and you're talking about Chris Sanchez.
Chris Sanchez, yeah. And so I told him, well, as long as she behaves, okay, you know, if it's going to make her, he goes, yeah, she's okay, I think it's going to be fine. So that's the last I heard of it. The interaction between them after she found out she was pregnant, the way the daughter was reacting about, she was adamantly denying she was even pregnant, she was denying that she had sex.
And you heard her say that?
Yes, she was denying that openly. So.
What did mom say when she said that?
Well, mom was upset. And the mom was saying, I can't believe you. You know you can talk to me. You're supposed to talk to me about this stuff before you were having sex, all those kind of things. She was saying stuff like that.
How would you describe the reaction?
I think there was no emotion except for herself. And she really wasn't even crying tears. She was just, and the only thing she was upset about was that I think she was going to be in trouble with her mother. That was her only concern, in my opinion. There was no concern for the baby. No one asked me any questions about the baby. Not even the family members, when I went out there and talked to them, did they say, you know, normally people, I would think, would say, was it a boy, a girl, you know, no one asked me one question about the baby at all, not one.
The whole time?
The whole time. No one asked me anything about the baby's condition, if it's a boy or a girl, anything, nothing.
Is there anything we haven't asked you think we should know?
I'm just going to tell you this. I've never, ever seen a reaction like that girl. I don't even know what to say about it. There was zero emotion. Um, I don't even know what to say. I've never seen anything like it. I've seen women that are only married, or not married, but pregnant for 6 weeks and they lose that baby and they're a mess. You know what I mean? That girl went in that bathroom, made no sounds at all, and the baby came out of her. And I don't even know how she functioned that way to do what she did and with no emotion. I've never seen anything like it.
And it was a pretty good sized baby. Pretty good sized.
It looked term to me.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, it was term. I can't tell you that was, but the only thing that upsets me the most is I understand she was scared, and I think her mother had a big dynamic on her, and I understand that. I mean, I think her mother was probably pretty controlling. I don't know that. I'm just speculation. But she gave me no chance to save that baby. I had no chance, and that's not what I do. My job is to save lives, and I had no chance on that baby. She gave me no chance. And we are a facility that you can drop the baby off, no questions asked. You can just leave the baby and go. I don't care, as long as you bring the baby to a safe. We are one of those type of hospitals, so it's hard to fathom what was going on in her mind. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that, and I pray to God I never see it again. I mean, it was like, I don't even like TV shit. You know what I mean? Shit I don't even know what to say, man. It was crazy. That kid didn't have a chance. And I don't know what she did or didn't do. Can't say for sure. But I know she gave me no chance.
Right.
And that's all that matters to me. I didn't get a chance.
You didn't get a chance to do your job.
I didn't get a chance to save that kid. And I believe wholeheartedly in my every fiber of being I'd have saved that kid. Or we would have got that, he'd had a shot. We'd have got him out of here alive. I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like I said, I don't know. I didn't inspect the child that closely once we looked him over, and there was no signs of life, and he was gray, and there was absolutely no heartbeat. There was nothing, to present life. But I always feel like I always have a shot.
Right.
With whatever comes through my door.
Poor HT.
All of those nurses.
All of them, but
yeah, heartstrings for sure.
Oh yeah, and Rosa and Alexee. Just
Bruh.
why is the main focus
Bruh.
her having sex? What, that is not the problem right now.
No.
But that explains so much that is her worry. That her 19-year-old daughter is having sex.
Yeah. Like, very clearly, in her mind, Alexee's not an adult. And, of course, in Alexee's mind, she's not a fucking adult either.
Yeah.
Even though she is very legally an adult.
Yeah. It's a very...
Crazy.
Dynamic.
Crazy.
And her just being more worried about herself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Them not asking about, like, gender of the baby or anything like that, or specific questions, makes me think that they knew about this going into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm going to keep them to myself for right now.
We'll go over them soon.
Yep.
Okay. So, before we talk about the autopsy, there's one more thing I want to add. When he talked about where she silently gave birth in that bathroom, that is incredibly hard to do, and had to have been terrifying. That is, no matter how quickly she said that it came out of her, there is still a level, like, what fear must you be under from your mother to silently have a baby in the bathroom?
Yeah. Well, if you think about also the timeline that we gave you guys earlier, she ran to the bathroom and was in there for 20
minutes,
minutes tops. So that means as she felt, that's why she grabbed her booty hole, because she felt that baby coming out.
Yes, and I can attest to this because when I had my daughter, the second time I went back to the hospital, we were checking in, and all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I have to go to the bathroom. So I ran around the nurse's station because I knew where it was.
Yeah.
I was in that bathroom for maybe 2 seconds before like 3 nurses busted in that door. And I was like, what's up? And I was like, I have to go to the bathroom. They're all, that's what it feels like when a baby's coming out.
There you go.
Which is why I question.
And that's why people shit themselves when they give birth.
Yes, I did it because I went to the bathroom first. But that's also what, so
They let you?
yeah, well, obviously I was in the bathroom when they busted in. It's because I had to
So
go to the bathroom.
You're shitting in front of these nurses in
Yeah,
the
'cause they
doorway, like,
thought
what up, fam?
Yeah, because I thought the baby was going to come out. I was like mid-shit. Yes. All right. Yeah, that is how that went.
I love imagining this. I'm sorry.
Listen, so when I saw that video footage, I was like, oh, that is probably what I look like run into the bathroom.
I understand it's been like 11 years, but can we contact the hospital?
Memorial North, baby. So, and also, like, they couldn't find the placenta.
Yeah.
And
she eat it?
no, they don't know if she flushed down the toilet. They don't know, like, it was nowhere. Like, they don't know. But the thing is about the placenta cord is they described it as, like, looking like string cheese, like it was shredded apart. So, when my husband went to cut the umbilical cord, he, like, boop, like in movies, and it, like, didn't cut. He was like, what the? And he had to, like, saw at it, and he was like, that is not as easy to cut as they say it is. So, like, even the nurses and doctors were like, how she got her placenta detached is crazy. Yeah, they're like, I don't know if she got it off or she, like, was tearing it apart. So, yeah, so that is also the other weird part. Like, birth is terrifying when you have a room full of professionals and you have an epidural. It's scary enough. Let alone silently doing it in a bathroom.
I was in the room for one birth of my, like, in my entire life. It was not me, thankfully. And I will never forget that day.
I scarred my 15-year-old sister by giving birth. It was a great time.
You let Blake in the room?
I did. I had her hold my right leg.
That's fair. I wiped blood off of my friend, her face, and she's like, is everything okay? I'm like, it's fine. I'm just trying to wipe your face off. It was a whole thing. We'll talk about it later.
Battle face.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about the autopsy for the baby.
Mm-hmm.
The cause of death was listed as entrapment, and the manner of death was homicide. So I'm going to read a few things directly from the autopsy. Mm-hmm. Baby John Doe was a newborn who died shortly after birth. The lungs were aerated, and there was air in the stomach, and no changes of decomposition. There were signs of hypoxia. With there being air in the lungs and stomach and no evidence of decomposition, this is all consistent with the baby being born alive. Based on length, weight, and organ size, he was approximately 38 weeks gestational age, which is term and compatible with life outside the uterus.
Okay, at least Skylar Richardson at least gave her fucking baby a name.
Yeah. Actually, okay, I'll do a little blurb before we go back to this. There is a little rumor from people at school saying that, like, she had said it sometimes if she ever has a baby, she'd name it Alex. And then there was things where afterwards with the family, Alex is the name that was used. So that's kind of going against a little bit of the her not knowing, but those are all just like rumors and hearsay that I've seen here or there. So there's potential that the baby actually did have a name eventually, or maybe before, but we don't know.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Potential. Mm-hmm. But, like, also, bitch, you were in a hospital. And not just in a hospital, you were in a safe haven hospital, as HC said. Like,
yeah.
You literally just had to open the bathroom door and hand your baby to the nurses. And you could have just left. And it would have been fine. Your mom would have been pissed. You would have gotten in trouble. But, like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I found that part out, I was like,
they're
be so fucking for real.
For real. Yeah. I just feel like if she very much did not know she was pregnant, and then she's like, oh, I'm shitting myself, and then bloop, a baby, you're just like, oh fuck, so and then give it away. Not like that, but like,
I'm
nurse, knock knock knock, yeah. Please fucking help me, rather than trash bag, bread,
yeah,
bye.
So one of my biggest keys to thinking that maybe Alexee, at minimum, Alexee knew she was in labor before she went to the hospital, was the tampon.
Yeah.
The bloody tampon, because there's something called the bloody show before you have a baby. So your mucus plug releases and everything, and your water could break or not break. So I'm very curious if her water broke at home, and she had her bloody show, and she cleaned all that up. She put a tampon in, and then went and woke up her mom. Told her mom her back was hurting really bad, and at that point she's in full back labor and like really going for this. And so she just kept it under the radar. Like, I don't know how much Rosa knew before that or after, like, but you know what I mean? Or if she was like like she knew, but she was like trying to get Alexee to admit it, is kind of also the vibe we're getting. But her running like that and the tampon being bloody in there and her saying she's on her period, trying to explain away if there is any blood already and any cramping or pain she's in, like her back pain, like all of that pain that's coming and going could be masked by that. So I'm wondering if Alexee knew she was in labor at home before she went.
I have no doubt in my mind.
So the police talked to Alexee's boyfriend and his family in the waiting room of the hospital while Alexee was being prepped to be airlifted to the Loveless Medical
They
Center.
literally came to the hospital.
Which is really interesting how quickly the boyfriend and the mom and like, it's not like a full family out in the hospital, but like, that's really quick. I mean, your girlfriend's in the hospital.
For back pain.
For back pain. I don't know how quickly my boyfriend's mom would have driven him to the hospital at like 12:30 in the morning. I'm pretty sure they would have been like, wait for tomorrow.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend in high school's parents were really fucking cool, so...
I feel it, like, I just feel that it's 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Why is he at the hospital? Why is Mama bringing him to the hospital?
Why is this already... Yeah. And why is he there already before she's getting airlifted out?
Huh.
Yeah. I'm just curious about that part. So... And there doesn't seem to be a lot of shock with them. It's just silence. And there isn't really confusion about the situation. It's just more confusion about what's going to happen to Alexee now. And, like... I have a clip for you guys, obviously. But Rosa is, like, nervous over sharing, and it's so fun. All right, here it is.
Can we put you down as next of kin for all mine? Okay. And you'd be grandmother?
I'm mom.
So you'd be
I'm
the
her mom.
you'd be the destined grandmother?
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
So that's her boyfriend. As soon as they're done with her, like if everything's okay, will I be able to bring her home with me?
Yes.
I will?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know where she'll be going.
With me?
No.
To my house. I mean, like.
When she gets life flighted.
okay.
I don't know which one.
They told me Loveless Regional Center. Yeah.
Loveless Regional?
Yes. Yeah.
That's my card.
Okay.
Keep a hold of me.
Okay.
So if she stays at Loveless and then she gets released, she can go back to y'all.
Okay.
So what did she come here for that she told you?
She told me she had back pain.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. Has she been having back pain before?
Yeah, pain for her and her hips is no, I mean, she was born with like I don't know, it's like crooked.
Her spine?
Okay, because my ex-husband, he hit me. He beat me whenever I was pregnant with her. So she was early. So, she had some problems with her hips. Like I always had to take her to the chiropractor to get adjusted because she couldn't use it. Like she was always getting constipated. Like she had to get lined up, whatever. So, I mean, I've been taking her to chiropractor because I always thought, well, this time, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know she was pregnant. I didn't know.
And how long have you all been together?
Almost 2 years.
2 years? Okay. So, not trying to be rude, but you are more than likely would be the father? Okay.
Yes. No, we get it. We get
Sometimes
it.
it happens. So she's getting life flighted out. We'll talk to her later.
Okay.
That's if she even wants to talk to us, if she chooses to, because she still has her constitutional rights.
Should I get a lawyer for her? Should I?
You can. That's your choice. I can't tell you what to do. That's something that y'all as a family must.
Okay. So isn't that fun?
Dude. I hate these people.
Isn't it?
I hate these people so
She's
much.
constipated because my
She gets
ex-husband beat
constipated
me.
a lot.
It's just like, what? Why?
Because she is crooked
And I don't know the exact name, but we've always had it.
for 19 years.
And why do we all start laughing when we're talking about, like, who the dad is? Like, if this is brand new information and there's, like, zero doubt in the entire room about who the dad is. There's nothing.
Yeah. Like, to be fair, I understand nervous laughing because I do that shit frequently. However, I feel this is a kind of different, like, it's a pretty straightforward answer.
But also, like, as a mom, I know I have a daughter, but if I had a son and I'm suddenly sitting in a hospital at 12:31 a.m. in the morning because my son's girlfriend of 2 years has supposedly given birth and put the baby in a bag inside the trash can. I feel like I would be having a lot more questions and saying a lot more things than just staring at my son's girlfriend's mom and waiting for her to answer every question and not do anything.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I will say, as devil's advocate, a lot of people get nervous when the police are around, and especially due to it being a murder investigation, technically.
But if you knew nothing about the baby, I feel like I would have some more questions and a
I
little
mean,
bit
yeah,
more
that's
anger and
valid.
some I just found out I'm a grandma and not a grandma all at the same time, and my baby's dead, and there's no questions. Was it a boy? Was it a girl? Nothing.
Again, people aren't as chatty as you and I, Jackie, and some people just don't fucking have these questions.
I know I'm married.
Genuinely.
I know I'm married to one of those people. I had to train him.
I'm also married to one of those people. I get it.
Listen, I had to train him.
Derek,
Mike.
ask more questions.
Mike does ask more questions now.
He's getting there. Derek's getting there. But, okay. I'm sorry. My thing locked up.
We move on.
We're moving on. So, after Alexee was released from the hospital, she seemed like pretty much just to go back to living life like normal. She went back to school. She even went to prom. I'm pretty sure we have a prom picture.
Right here.
She literally just went back to life, almost like that night in the hospital never happened. And, that's just wild. She just went back to life, so much so that, when the police were trying to talk to her, she just completely ignored them.
1000%. They showed up at the school.
Yeah.
And there's a video of it. I didn't include it because we have so many clips. But, the officer's by her car, and he goes, oh, there she is. And they come walking up, and she literally just turns around and starts walking the other way. And he was like, you're an adult. You can talk to me. And she just, keeps talking to her friend and, walks the other way.
That's, I don't know. But that's also super interesting because, all they just needed, her to do was tell them that she wanted a lawyer and wasn't going to talk to them.
It's literally all they needed her to say.
If you do not want to talk to the police people, just tell them that you want a lawyer and that you are not going to answer any more questions.
They have to stop questioning you as soon as you ask for a lawyer. They
the
can't do
second a
anything
lawyer's
else.
brought up, it's over.
Yeah.
This is across the country.
Yeah, it's the law.
It is the law. Okay. Anyway, so she was straight up refusing to meet them face to face. It's crazy. But, of course, she was getting her mama involved. So Rosa, at one point, was on the phone basically scolding the police for going to the school, the clip she just talked about, to talk to her. And then Rosa tries to, get Alexee on the phone to tell, have her tell them that she just wanted a lawyer and didn't want to talk. But the police were I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's right.
okay.
She just, got her on the phone to be here, tell them that you don't want a lawyer.
Yeah. And they were basically no. We need to hear it from her, in person.
You know. Case in point, I'm going to bring it up, but Letitia impersonating Harley to the police station to get evidence back.
Bruh, I can't.
That's why they don't do things over the phone.
Absolutely. So, and then when that happens, Rosa was like, well, she just said it, so I think you're good. I think you're good to go now. Okay. The sense of entitlement with these two is just
it's never ending.
Yeah. So, in May, Alexee was finally arrested on first-degree murder charges. And do you think her mom just sat quietly by and let them arrest her baby girl?
No, never.
Of course not. Rosa was in true Rosa fashion that day, and she was not having it with the police, doing their job and following the law. You guessed it, though. There's body cam footage.
It's awesome. I will warn, in the beginning, there's a little bit of wind, so it's slightly hard to hear.
Yeah, I remember that stuff.
But it goes away as it goes on, so I tried to get less wind clips for you.
Yeah.
But this is great, guys.
Yeah, so here it is.
Okay, so what is she under arrest for?
She's over 18. She's got to talk to her.
I understand that,
Right.
Detective Gonzalez.
Right.
What is she under arrest for?
She is warrant for arrest, okay?
For what?
That's all I'm going to tell you. Okay?
What do you mean that's all you're going to tell me?
She's over the age of 18.
I understand that, but I have a right to know as well.
And we'll tell you that, but we
Okay,
need
then
the
let me know
cooperation.
now.
We need the cooperation.
Let me know now. I'm giving you the cooperation. I told you everything. Answer my question.
Well,
What is she under arrest for?
like I said, she's over the age of 18. Like, that we can't really put that information, but if you bring her out here, we'll tell you.
What is she under arrest
Bring her out here,
for?
we'll tell you right in front.
No, I'm not bringing her out here yet. Let me know what she's under arrest
She's gonna
for.
get arrested regardless, ma'am. I mean, I don't know why.
For what? For what? For what?
Are you okay with telling us?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell me.
Homicide. Open count of homicide. And tampering with evidence.
Tampering with evidence
Yes.
at the hospital?
Yes.
So, can we see her now?
Give me a minute. Hey, I have the detectives here. They want to arrest my daughter. They're saying they have a warrant, but they can't show me a warrant for her arrest. Can I see the warrant?
It's an arrest warrant for her. It's
Okay,
not a
can I
search
see
warrant
the
for your
arrest warrant?
house.
I want to see the arrest warrant.
And what will that prove?
You bet when this is over, I'm coming for the police department and the hospital.
Yes.
I am.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you please let me know?
That is his policy.
I will give it to you. Please don't. Please don't.
He ran away from 1002 West
Yes,
Washington.
ma'am. It's nothing personal. It really isn't. And we understand. But we have to do our jobs too, okay?
I understand that. I understand that.
No medications, anything you need to take while you're in there?
No, sir, no.
Okay.
She has still been like bleeding, so I don't know if she needs.
Do you have any, I don't know if they have tampons.
They do have feminine products.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure if you take your own, you can use your own if you need it.
Can she?
Yes.
Do you want to grab some? Can she grab some of that right quick? Or?
Do you mind if...
Get your little bag.
First of all, ma'am, they don't have to show you shit.
Right? Like, it's my house. It's not a search warrant.
That's what I'm saying. Bitch, this is an arrest warrant. She is an adult. I don't give a fuck what you say or how you treat her. She is legally an adult. They don't need to show you shit.
I can't believe their patience to, like, not,
gosh.
like, arrest her for, like, is it, like, interfering or, yeah, like, resisting. Dear God, at some point, I don't even know if we can categorize that, but
she
something.
is not technically resisting because she's not the one under arrest.
Harboring a fugitive.
That
There
one.
we go. She doesn't have a mic today, but obstruction of justice. We got there.
It just took us a second. Thank God we got you. We would have gotten
We
there.
had to talk it out.
I don't know. And then just like the audacity for her to be like, can she not have a perp walk? Don't be rough with her.
Right? Like,
What?
no.
I don't know. Another thing I want to add is that on multiple occasions, you only heard it once during this, but on multiple occasions, go watch that whole thing. Because she tells them, I'm going to come after you and the
I
hospital.
think it's only like once in that video, but like she says it at the hospital. She says it like when they're talking to her about like after she gets arrested. Like she says it a lot.
But she says specifically it's for violating HIPAA and like a bunch of other laws as well. And I just like love the officers' responses every time where they're basically just like, yeah, okay, sure,
man.
yeah, sure.
Have fun.
I think that's what they're probably trying to say. Just like, okay.
Sounds great. So Alexee was released on a $100,000 bond a week later with no GPS monitor, just a 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. curfew. And
Okay.
she just went back to being out and living life, and she has since.
Like,
she
say less though. I already do that curfew for myself.
right?
Except for today.
I know.
We're getting
I'm pretty
there.
sure that was her curfew with her mother anyway. So
Oh fuck! How'd she get pregnant?
don't know. Don't know.
Anyway,
So she did get to get her diploma, but Artesia High School did not allow her to attend graduation ceremony with charges pending. So at least she did get to walk.
yeah.
There have been videos of her at football games, and she's currently attending the University of New Mexico with her boyfriend because they're still together. Okay. She has opted to do online classes for her first year, which was probably a smart decision.
Uh-huh.
Considering that there is a major petition going around right now to get her kicked out of school. With the most common consensus being that she shouldn't have access to education while awaiting trial.
I don't.
That part doesn't make sense to me at all. If she was like on campus and like walking around campus stuff, I totally would get the uproar. But she's literally taking online classes. Like,
Yeah.
you even get an education in prison.
Exactly.
So
Like I don't get that part, but also like she can go fuck herself.
but wouldn't you know, she is in school for nursing.
I know we talked about this specifically on the WTF we talked about for this.
We did.
But like all of the fucking mean girls in school went to fucking nursing school.
And they were either cheerleaders or Palms girls. And then
We
they went to
didn't-
be nurses.
We didn't have that at my school. I mean, we had that at my school. Obviously, I went to a big ass school, but
Oh, my school's Palm girls were like nationally ranked. It was a whole thing.
That's awesome. No one liked our cheer squad.
They were mean.
I mean, our cheer squad was okay. They weren't like super elite or anything, but the cool girls just like had their own clique, and all of them are in fucking nursing school.
Yeah.
And they're, oh god, all graduated by now because we're old as fuck.
We are.
That's scary though.
It is, because they were really mean.
They were so mean.
So in May, Alexi's attorney filed 2 motions, basically saying that all comments allegedly made by Alexee in the presence of hospital staff, as well as video footage of her taken inside the medical facility, shouldn't be allowed in court. Her trial was supposed to start on August 24th with a pretrial hearing on August 6th.
This year?
Of 2024.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
So
like, a year and a half after everything initially happened in the hospital. But both of those were canceled and the case was vacated due to the judge's ruling that the motions filed by defense back in May would stand and that none of that would be allowed in court. Which is fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Because Alexee's lawyers, like, here's their argument for it, is that they argue that her confession to giving birth and the baby still breathing and all the conversations with doctors was a HIPAA violation and can't be used in court. Prosecutors argued that the video of her coming in and out of the bathroom should be enough evidence. And also, like, they filed the appeal for all of that with the New Mexico Supreme Court, objecting to the judge's ruling that all the footage of her entering and exiting the bathroom should be admissible, as well as all of her confessions. And so they want all of it in the trial, not just the video of her going in and out. Like, they want a trial to happen. They want all of the evidence.
Yeah. Really quick, I do kind of feel that the footage of her going to and from the bathroom, what was found in the bathroom, clear evidence.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't say her being like, hey, we found, or like when they're like, we found a baby in the hospital, and then being like, oh, I'm sorry. That's right there is not HIPAA violation.
Yeah, and actually the district attorney, Ariane Gonzalez, says that. She's representing the state of New Mexico in this case, and she writes in the appeal that the HIPAA laws did not apply to the initial conversation with Alexee that she had with her doctor, in which she allegedly confessed to giving birth to the baby, because her mom and police being present in the room made HIPAA not exist. Because she's not the only one in the room with her doctor. Her mom, because being over 18, automatically makes HIPAA go away, and then the police officer as well. So she was giving this information freely in front of other people. So HIPAA didn't actually exist in this, according to
the DA.
The DA.
Period.
And
like,
as of this recording, we don't have a Supreme Court date to hear the appeal.
Oh my god, I can't wait.
But apparently there's specific months that they listen to appeals in, like, the beginning of them.
Okay.
And it's like, I know September is one of them, January is one of them, and like March. I think it's like on a 3-month basis type thing. But it's just, I can't believe that they got everything canceled and paused on HIPAA violations right now. Like, a judge wrote off on that.
The thing is, judges don't fuck around when it comes to HIPAA violations. They really don't.
Yeah, and like, when I first read this, I was like, we didn't even have a HIPAA violation.
Technically, yeah.
So,
I know, I get it. So, Alexee's attorney has also, I'm about to make y'all mad, has also filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Artesia General Hospital for the wrongful death of the baby, stating they continued to give her medication that is dangerous to a pregnant woman, and they continued to do so after they found out she was pregnant.
Hey, I need your help. My eyes, I think they're stuck permanently rolled into the back of my head right now. I think I've got it. Dear God. Are you serious?
If you were closer, I was going to slap you. But
Like,
be happy you weren't. I know. Hold up. Wait a minute. There's more. So, they also are the part of the lawsuit is that they let her go to the bathroom unattended. She claims she was confused from the morphine and scared and in shock from the situation. So, it's not her fault.
be so fucking for real right now.
I need you to look at me in my eyes, in my ojos, and be so motherfucking for real with me right now. Good God, are you kidding me? This is just ridiculous. She was at the time 19 years old. She is a fucking adult, and you were in a hospital.
Not only that, a safe haven hospital.
Sorry for the clapping. I'm frustrated.
We are.
Yes, a safe haven hospital. Like, she had so many opportunities to do the right thing, and she neglected to do it every step of the way.
Every step of the way. And which makes me so mad at it. The entire case getting canceled and thrown out. Like,
yeah.
No.
The only thing that she did right was admitting to it right away. That's it.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing she did right.
And it wasn't even to the police, it was to her mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you already motherfucking know she's not the one that's doing this lawsuit. Clearly.
No.
But,
and also, I only saw it one time and I couldn't find it again to like source it in our show notes. But I believe that Devin's family is also part of the lawsuit.
Be so fucking for real right now.
Yeah, like with her family against the hospital. Yeah.
Anyway, so I really hope a judge sees what we were just like what we're saying, like what we just said, and lets this actually go to trial. Like, how is she essentially getting away with murder? And like there's so much evidence besides her confession. And
like you brought up Skylar Richardson earlier.
Yes.
Like there's so many cases of this with less evidence than what we have for Alexee.
Yes.
And they got instant on stuff. And this one, you have so much visual.
Yeah.
And we're just like, no.
Like Skylar Richardson went to trial.
Yeah.
You know what? We should do an episode on Skylar Richardson.
We've mentioned her so much, we really should.
Just so you guys can see the crazy similarities between this.
Yeah.
We're
good on that for you.
Yes. But obviously we've said a lot of our opinions tonight, so we want to know what you guys think. Do you think she knew that she was pregnant? Do you think Rosa knew she was pregnant? How about her boyfriend and or his mama? Because I do. Also, do you think Alexee was in labor before she went to the hospital? I want to know your thoughts. I personally think she was in labor from the night before, and it was just a really long labor.
We will have this up on the Spotify poll and then on our Facebook page as well. Yeah. If you answer those questions with us, you can also do it in the Apple review if you want, or in a review section. We'll always read it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, clearly we're upset.
Are you upset? I hope you are.
I hope you're upset as well.
Rage the day away.
Regardless. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Justice 4. If you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe and follow button. It's totally free.
Free 99.
You will never miss another episode. But when it comes to our poor baby John Doe, possibly named Alex, justice is loading.
It is loading. And if you're not already following us on all of our social medias, please go ahead. We're on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this. And we also, don't forget that you can submit a case if you want to hear us talk about something, on justice4podcast.com, our website. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot it for a second in the middle of saying it. We have a case submission tab on there. You can find all of our socials. You can find all of our episodes and resources as well.
Lots of resources.
Yeah.
But sorry we got you guys heated. We were also heated, and that's just how our ADHD minds work. But I hope you enjoy your day. If you're pregnant, please tell people, unless you don't want people to know, but at least tell your doctor. Okay? Or use condoms.
Okay. Yeah. Happy Tuesday, guys.
Anyway, love you guys.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.